serving America. And
a very, very close election. And so let me tell you, Bill Laimbeer said it when he brought me out here 2 years ago, this very day in Michigan. The headlines read 54-40, Engler losing, 54-40. And you said then, no way. Well, this year, we've got an opportunity to say that to Bill Clinton. And let me make this prediction right here and now. George Bush is going to carry the state of Michigan. It's going to put him over the top. You're going to get the job done. That's right. That's right. That's right. George Bush is going to win the election, carry our championship banner for 4 more years. And in the time we've got left, every hour, make those calls, get the vote out, and believe in George Bush, because we are going to win the election, and you're the reason why, and hundreds of thousands of people like you. Thank you very much. Back to Bill Laimbeer.
All right, Michigan, it's time for us to stand up and lead George Bush to victory on Tuesday. Not only is this election important to our country, it is very important for the rest of the world. The world is changing, and there are many landmines and potholes out there. George Bush has stood tall leading America and the world through this transition. He commands the respect of all the world leaders. When George Bush speaks, the entire world listens. That's respect. These days, Congress is quick to point the finger at blame at everybody but themselves. The fact is, their agenda does not work. You know what scares me? A Democratic president unable to say no to a Democratic Congress. I say tell Congress to move aside and let George Bush manage the economy. More importantly, George Bush is a man we can trust. He has led us and the world through very uncertain times. The bottom line is, President Bush has earned another 4 years. Four more years. Let's hear 4 more years. It is my honor to introduce our President of the United States, George Bush.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Way up there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Bill, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bill. Hey, listen. Thank you, Bill Laimbeer. Thank you all very, very much to the welcome to the palace. And I am very proud to have Bill Laimbeer at my side. I think that's going to get us in there for victory in Michigan. So, Bill, thank you very much for being here. Let's slam dunk our opponents, the governor from Arkansas, on Tuesday. No, I'm delighted to be here, very proud to have at my side as running our campaign, perhaps the most effective leader this state has ever seen, but in any event, the great Governor John Engler. I salute him, I thank him. And do me a favor, help me clean house. You know, clean it out. And here's how we're going to do it. Here's how we're going to do it. Elect Megan O'Neill, elect Dick Chrysler, John Papageorge, Joe Nolenberg. Elect them, and we can help make a big step toward cleaning house. That one institution has not changed for 38 years, and now we can make a big change. I want to thank Mitch Ryder and the band. I want to thank all these high school bands, just fantastic music. And I want to salute my friend, our MC, Brooks Patterson. You got a good one there. And also the party leaders, because here's when we get down to getting out the vote and getting down to the crunch. And Dave Doyle and the rest of them are doing a first-class job. So go to the polls, bring your neighbors, and let's carry the state of Michigan. I am absolutely confident of victory because the American people are going to decide that there is a vast difference in experience, a vast difference in philosophy, and yes, a vast difference in character. You know, I think finally one of the reasons is we're getting in perspective exactly what has happened in Arkansas since this man has been governor. And they don't like it, but it doesn't hurt to tell the truth. And here it is. Arkansas is the 50th in the Quality of Environmental Initiative, 50th state. How do you environmentalists like that? 50th in the percentage of adults with college degrees. 50, it gets worse, hold your fire. 50th in per capita spending on criminal justice. 49th, wait a minute, they're going up here. 49th in per capita spending on police protection. 48th in the percentage of adults with a high school diploma. A little more from you guys here. 48th for spending on corrections, 46th in teachers' salaries, 45th in the overall well-being of children, and Governor Clinton said, I want to do for the country what I've done for Arkansas. No way. We cannot let that happen to this country. This country's just beginning to move. Governor Clinton says he's the candidate of change. But we'll get to Ozone Man in a minute. But let's look closely at what Governor Clinton offers. And this is one thing the American people should focus on now in the last day before this campaign. $150 billion in new taxes, $220 billion in new spending. You talk about trickle down. That's trickle down government. Take it from the people and have government spend it, and we're not going to let that happen. And you hear the same old sirens call. You hear the same old sirens call. Well, we'll take it from the rich. There aren't enough rich people. So all you cab drivers, all you nurses, all you overworked teachers, watch out for it. Watch your pocketbook and watch your wallet. They're coming right after you. You know, they talk about change. And all you have to do is remember the last time we had a man like Governor Clinton as president and a Democrat-controlled Congress. You had change, all right. You had inflation at 15%. You had interest rates 21.5%. You had a misery index at 20, and we cannot let that happen to the United States. Change, change, change. No way, that's right. Change. Change is all you'll have left in your pocket if you let this guy become president of the United States of America. And you know, the only way they can win is by scaring America that we're in some deep recession. Look, the economy is growing. We are caught up in a fragile international economy. You hear them talk. Governor Clinton says we're something less than Germany and a little above Sri Lanka. But let me tell you something. Our economy is doing better than Germany, better than Japan, better than Canada. And if we keep going the way we're moving now and get our programs in, we'll be leading the entire world. Yes, people are hurting. Yes, people are hurting in this country, but we don't need to make it worse for them by going back to tax and spend. We need our program, and let me tell you what it is. First place, we're going to open new markets. Exports have saved us. We are going to open new markets for American products all around the world. We are not going to go protection. We think we have the best workers in the world. Now let's open those markets. And we're going to continue to have a strong environmental policy, but we are not going to go to the extreme. Governor Clinton and the Ozone Man, well, here's what they want to do. They're backing off a little now because they're on all sides of every issue. They want to go and put a 40 to 45 mile per gallon CAFE standard, fuel efficiency standard, on American autos. And that will throw auto workers out of work. And I'm not going to go to the extreme. We are not going to go to the extreme on this environment. And instead of those crazy government policies, we are going to inspire and invigorate small business. And here's how we're going to do it. 2/3 of the jobs created are in small business. So we're going to get relief from taxation, relief from regulation, and yes, relief from litigation. We have got to have legal reform. These trial lawyers are backing Governor Clinton right up to the hilt. The lead trial lawyer in Arkansas said, don't worry, Bill won't go against us on tort reform. Look, we got Little League coaches that are afraid to coach. We got doctors that are afraid to bring babies into the world because of a lawsuit. We got people that are afraid to help people along the highway because they're afraid to be sued. And we've got to put an end to these crazy lawsuits, and we're going to do it. And whatever your politics, you should have an interest in that one, and we got to sue each other less and care for each other more in this country. Big difference on health care. We've got the great health care program, and we're going to get it through because there is going to be a cleaning of the House, and there's going to be 100 new members of Congress. And the reason is those guys up there can't even run a 2-bit post office or a 2-bit bank. So we're going to have 100 or maybe 150 new members of Congress, and we're going to get this health care program through. We're going to provide health care insurance to the poorest of the poor through vouchers. We're going to help the overburdened next income bracket in the income tax range there by tax credit. We're going to pool the insurance so the small operator can get the same cost benefits as the larger ones, large companies. And then we're going to do this. We are going to say no to Governor Clinton's wanting to let the government ration health care through this board he is proposing. Health care for all. Health care for all, but use market forces to get it done. And education, I got a big difference with Governor Clinton on this one. I cited the sorry record in Arkansas. Now we've adopted national education goals for the very first time. And I give Governor Clinton credit for this one, because as a governor, he worked with us on this. But the program is this: renew, literally reinvent American schools and give parents the choice of schools, private, public, or religious. And that competition will make all the public schools better. It works in Wisconsin. It can work right across this country. On welfare reform, we've got to break the cycle of welfare. Too many people, generation after generation, dependent. So what we're going to do is go nationally with the waiver system, give those states the right to put in workfare. People are going to get the check, let them do a little work and work their way off of the welfare. And learn fair, help people to learn. These kids, it's a tragedy, generation after generation. Make part of the welfare reform, learn fair, so people on welfare will have the privilege of an education in this country and be able to do better. We've gone after these deadbeat dads. We're going to keep after them. And yes, I don't care what the liberal elite says, family is important, and family values are important. And we need to help all families, single parent, whatever it is, but we need to help them by getting getting crime out of our areas. We got to have better crime legislation. We better get some that supports the police and some that has more compassion for the victims of crime and a little less for the criminal. And I'll tell you what I mean. Arkansas, people that are sentenced there spend 20% of their sentence in jail, and under the federal jurisdiction, which is mine, 85%. We must support our local police officers. And a while back, I had a visit from 8 guys from Arkansas. They came up to endorse me for President of the United States, and they were the Fraternal Order of Police in Arkansas, in Little Rock. And I was proud to have their endorsement. We got to get the deficit down, but Bill Clinton talks about let government invest. Government never created a job. It is small business and private sector that creates jobs. So if you want to get the deficit down, here's a way to do it. Control the growth of these mandatory spending programs. Give us a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution to discipline the Congress. Give every taxpayer the right to check 10% of his tax return, and if you want it to go to the deficit, make the Congress put it on the deficit. Give the president what 43 governors have, a line item veto, and let the president draw a line through this excessive spending. And I'll throw in a fourth measure. I think it's time to give the Congress back to the people. I want term limits for the members of the United States Congress. And here's the last point. I mentioned character and trust. Well, I hope so. And there's been a little panic in Little Rock because I think they see that the goal that Bill Clinton has been eagerly awaiting ever since he was studying in Oxford might be slipping away from him. And he's begun attacking my character, and I love to fight this one out in the last couple of days on character and trust. Yeah, he is a character, but being attacked on character by Governor Clinton is like being called ugly by a frog. We don't need to worry about it. We didn't invite that term, Slick Willie. We didn't invite it. It's come in from Arkansas. It was all through the Democratic primary. We are not going after his character. We're doing what Harry Truman is. We tell the truth, and they think it's hell, so be it. We're simply telling the truth. It's difficult for him to level with the American people, and here I'm very serious. You can't have it both ways as President of the United States. You can't tell one story and then another. In April, for example, on the draft, he said he would release all his draft records, and he never has done that to this day. He is waffling and ducking and bobbing and weaving, and you cannot do that as president. Listen, a lot of people oppose the war, and I understand that. That's not the point here. The point is there is a pattern of deception on one side of the issue one day and another side the next, and you cannot do that in the Oval Office. I know a lot of the media don't like this. I know a lot of our friends in the media don't like this. In fact, I like these hats. Annoy the media, re-elect Bush. But have you ever seen it? Let me divert for a minute. Have you ever seen a year where they have these their own seminars? Have we been fair? Have we? They know very well they haven't, but we're going to win without them. But listen, before you get too angry about this, share my frustration about it, please grant amnesty to the good guys, the photographers, the guys carrying the boom mic. Somebody stuck them with an American flag the other day. These are our friends. They are good people. Don't harass them. Save your rile for those that aren't here, those Sunday talk show people, those guys that are telling us how we're going to vote. But you know, I mentioned the draft. Even today, we have new evidence, an affidavit, that when Governor Clinton first ran for office, his friends used special connections to seize his ROTC file and destroy all others. He's got to level with the American people on this kind of thing. But it's not just the draft. It's not just the draft. You know my differences with him on organizing demonstrations. Look, people objected to the war, but I make a distinction. When your brothers or your peers are in a jail in Hanoi, or kids are being drafted out of the ghetto to go into that war that was not a popular war, I simply think it is wrong to go to a foreign country and organize demonstrations against the United States of America. And that's what he did. And all his apologists, all his apologists out there, all these talking heads say, oh yes, but it was 23 years ago. Okay, if it was wrong to do that, just say so. If you make a mistake, admit it. I have done it, and that's what you have to do as President of the United States. But the pattern continues. One time he's for the North American Free Trade Agreement. Another, he started to be against it. Then in the debate say, well, I'm for it, but I will make some changes. You cannot have a lot of buts in the Oval Office. You got to call them as you see them. Term limits, cafe standards, whatever it is, he's got a position for whatever audience he's talking to. And I really mean this. You lose all credibility as president if you try to do that on every issue. And let me finish this little beginning here by saying, here's what he said on the war. It was a tough decision, tough time for our country. People were divided. And here's what Governor Clinton courageously said about the time I had to make this decision. He said, I agree with the arguments the minority made, but I guess I would have voted with the majority. What kind of waffle iron is that? You can't do it. You cannot be here and there. The bottom line is we simply cannot take the risk on Governor Clinton. Character, inexperience, his experience and character do not meet the criterion of the Oval Office. And the world is still a dangerous place. We've made great progress. And frankly, I take great pride in the fact that with a very able team, I was president when we greatly reduced the threat of nuclear war to every family here and around the world. Great that we have ancient enemies talking to each other in the Middle East, that the Soviet Union is no longer international communism, but democracy on the move. A lot of progress toward world peace. And I was thrilled the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, when an announcement came out of Baghdad. Saddam Hussein's government planned a big party the next day after the election because they think Governor Clinton is going to win. Hold the phone, Saddam. They are not going to have a demonstration in Baghdad because they're going to have to contend with me for 4 more years. Actually, the other night in Michigan, Governor Clinton told a voter that he's already thought about what he's going to do as president. He said he's going to play his saxophone in the White House, and he's already planning the inauguration parade. You know, hold the phone, Bill. Hold the phone. We are going to show that you're not going to be in the White House, and you're not going to have the parade, and the press are going to be wrong about you. The day before that, he said he was an underdog, and then yesterday he was a saxophone player in the White House. He waffling even on that. I got a lesson for him. I know he studied at Oxford, and I know when, but he might not understand how democracy works. It's not the pundits, it's the people that decide these elections, and that's why we're going to do it. You know, I believe it's going to boil down to character and trust. I think we've already kind of won the debate on taxing and spending. People do not want to tax and spend more. They want a little relief from taxation and a little less government spending. But the bottom line is you cannot have this pattern of deception and deceiving. I will tell you this. The toughest decision I had to make did relate to the war. And I remember being up there at Camp David with Barbara a day or so before the battle actually began. And it is tough when you have to send somebody else's son or somebody else's daughter into harm's way, into combat. But you can't waffle. You got to get your judgment made up, and then you got to say, here's what we're going to do. And I did it, and I have no regrets. And as a result of doing it, we lifted the entire world, and we smashed aggression. We smashed aggression, and we restored hope in the United States of America. And now you go to the polls. And so I'm going to ask, first place, you got to work hard. You got to go there and get the vote out. One of the reasons we're going to win, we got the most committed supporters. We got people like you all who are going to go to those polls. And then I'm going to look into the lens the evening of the election, and I say to America, give me your support based on trust, based on character, based on confidence in the United States of America. I want to lead this country, finish the job, restore hope and opportunity to every young person here. And with your help, we're going to get the job done. Thank you all. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you so very much for a great rally. so much. Great rally. Thank you all.